All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army, match week 38. We got a lot to talk about this week. We're going to start with the Premier League, where it was an objectively unbiased, dark day in North London. Also, Pep's farewell, and there's still some stuff to play for in the final match week, so we'll take a quick look. Halftime will be a Spygate-related weekly What If. Round the world, we have a return of Dear Leader plus MLS Extra Spicy Minute and Stoppage Time with Ivan Toney's Best Bets and everybody's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now, time to welcome in this week's panel of beauties. Mikey, let's start with you, Mikey Fowler. I'm not going to say congratulations because I'm not a liar and I wouldn't mean it, but give us sort of the rundown of your last, I don't know, how many, 24 hours. What you been doing?
Not much. What about you?
Just crying in the corner in a fetal position.
I've been having fun. Yes, I've been having fun. I feel in a way you'll never. And I just know that beneath all of the hurt and torment you've given me over the last 10 years of being my friend, nay, colleague, it was all worth it for this one moment. So you can never take it away from me. I've won, you've lost. Ha ha, you stink.
Well, champs of England is something. It's not champs of Europe, but it's not nothing. So I'll give you that. That's true. We do have another game to play. Tyler Terrence, back for more. Where are you these days? Are you in Cincinnati / Loveland, or are you somewhere else?
No, I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Is this a U.S. Open Cup trip?
U.S. Open Cup. Lamar Hunt's U.S. Open Cup.
What games should we be looking forward to hearing your beautiful voice?
Well, by the time that we release this genius, the game's already going to have been played. San Jose and Colorado. Jesus Christ Almighty! How many years we've been doing this?
Well, hopefully we'll get it out on time, a little faster. Although, unfortunately, quick shout out, Dalton, our guy, just had his first kid. So I don't know if we're actually going to get that straight up or not.
Dalton.
That's right. Shout out Dalton and Mrs. Dalton. All right. Now, before we get to the Premier League, quick shout out to our people in the Discord. Yesterday was one of the crazier days in my soccer fandom history. And the Discord chat was just, it sort of amplified it to the next level. That's a good and bad thing, because we had these Arsenal fans who were basically just beating their meat figuratively left and right in the Discord. And you had Tottenham fans like me, who were just essentially crying and worrying about what the future of our club holds. It was quite an interesting little dichotomy of emotions, but it was pretty cool. And honestly, everybody in Discord was pretty cool about it. The Arsenal fans weren't nearly as difficult to take as some Arsenal fans on Twitter and the like. So this is my way of telling you, if you're not in the Sam's Army Discord, you should get in right now. Get in by getting in the Sam's Army Patreon, $3.99 a month. But yes, shout out to everybody in Discord. I'm happy for the Arsenal fans there, not Mikey, but everybody else. And I don't mean that, honestly, but whatever. All right, so Premier League time. I do think we have to start at the top, where the bottlers did not bottle it. In fact, the team that we've been given credit for never bottling, and in fact they were making fun of Arsenal for bottling this season, they bottled it. Of all the ways for Arsenal to win it did feel a little weird. How did it feel for you? Like, not playing at the time. Just was it any anticlimactic, or is it not at all? This is just sort of a beautiful moment.
Not at all. It was surprising because I didn't expect City. You never expect City, especially late season City, to slip. They did twice in the last 5 match weeks. So thank you. I'm really enjoying all of the love that everyone's been giving me. No, it was surprising. It was definitely out of nowhere. Like, Bournemouth obviously are good, but I don't think you'd have any Arsenal fan out there expecting City to slip up like that. I don't know. I don't feel like it was anticlimactic at all. Yeah, I haven't really had the opportunity to gather many thoughts about City. I did enjoy watching guys like Ryan Cherky not succeed. I think that was a lot of fun. And the announcement for Pep was the real weird thing. That coming out the day before the match was just uncity-like. I just don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's real? I mean, Ornstein doesn't get things wrong, so it must be. But it's odd that he hasn't said anything since.
No, Tyler, it was a weird situation. What do you think about the timing and just the fact he's leaving?
Yeah, I don't know why they would announce it now. Because if you waited this long and he didn't want the rah-rah farewell tour that Jurgen ended up getting, then why wouldn't you just announce it at the end of the season?
Right.
I genuinely don't know. Does it matter? I mean, like, really in the grand scheme of things, like, I don't think that there's any like real thought behind it other than let's wait till the end of the season, and maybe, while we need to win both games and we need Arsenal to drop one, let's maybe try to get like our legendary coach's leaving bump. Maybe that was the thought behind it. I don't know. It didn't work.
It certainly
did not work. It did not work. And just so everybody knows, Arsenal won.
Oh my God! Here we go. Charges feel like they're coming. People have been saying that for the past 3 summers. The Charges are not coming.
Charges are not coming.
Southampton just got booted out of a final that's worth $200 million for having binoculars in a place where they shouldn't. You think that the Charges are coming for Manchester City? Come on. Come on.
It's totally fair.
I mean, honestly, so Breezy said this in the chat. I actually think that there is something to that. The timing of this feels weird. Like the fact that he's leaving on a loss when he has a year on his contract. It feels like a situation where, unless he's just completely gassed, which is possible, it feels like a situation where
it seemed like he was gassed at the end of last year, and people thought he was going to leave last year, and then they're like, "Well, he can't go out on a loss." Like, we've been doing this for a little while now.
Perhaps. I just think that there's perhaps something to. Pep is no dummy. And if he sees something serious coming down the pike, I would not be surprised at all. If that's
maybe he wants to be the head coach of the Columbus Crew. There's a vacancy.
There you go. Maybe that's what's going on.
Maybe.
Quickly, look, I feel like we do have to give Pep some flowers. He's been an incredible
the fact that you said that before we even talk about Mikel Arteta and giving him flowers is kind of fucking insane. But anyway, keep going.
It's fine with me, unless Mikey is.
I know it is, Mr. Host, who also happens to be a Tottenham fan. Shocking that it's fine with you.
Yeah, right.
Listen, the reason I say that and the reason it came to mind is just all the shit that's going down at some of these other clubs, is specifically like Real Madrid, and all the talent they have, all the money they're spending and everything. The fact that Pep has kept City on the rails as long as he has, with almost very few real slip-ups, it's pretty incredible. And so what I was going to say is that his man management abilities is it's incredible. Leave it there. We don't need to give him more credit.
I think we should totally give Pep Guardiola more flowers today. For
having the biggest blank check in world football, in addition to inheriting a team that was built illegally, hence the 115 charges.
as
more flowers for this man.
115 flowers from Zulumas in the chat. All right, Mikey, let's give you the microphone quickly. Do you want to give, wax poetic a little bit for Mikel Arteta, this Arsenal team? It's yours.
No, nobody. I don't want people turning the episode off. What I do want to say quickly is that the jokes will continue. There will always be another joke down the line. Because last year when Spurs won their first trophy and I felt despair, little did I know they'd be in the heart of a relegation battle the next year. So there's always something coming down the line to make fun of your club about. Never get too high. It feels good just knowing that me and you have known each other for a long time and I've never gotten anything like this. So that's nice. And Tyler and I are the last 2 teams to win the Premier League. You're over there with all to play for in match week 38. We've both got this done. So I officially joined the club, the Tyler Club, which is the Premier League champion club. You guys can no longer say bottlers. You guys can no longer say it's loser DNA or any of that stuff. We've won the Premier League. So fuck off.
Fair enough. Like I said, it's not European champions, but English champions isn't nothing.
That's what you came with today, huh? That's the line you're going to keep.
What else do I have? We're in 17th place by
I'd like to make the argument that should Arsenal not win Champions League, it's kind of a disappointing season for them. There was all this talk of a quadruple, and they end up with one trophy. Okay,
Fine.
Stop me if you've heard that before in relation to a club that wears red that I might happen to support.
I think I get it. I mean, you guys had 100 points and didn't win. Now that I think about that, that's fucking crazy.
99, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting a little big in his britches there.
All right, Adam F. I know we're excited. I know we're excited and we're saying things, but let's keep our feet on the ground.
Now, quickly, the game itself, it was the perfect way for Arsenal to go out. You didn't go out, but you won the game and ultimately became champions thanks to the result. A 1-0 game that nobody in their right mind would have enjoyed other than Arsenal fans. You scored on a corner kick. You somehow magically avoided a red card that was just, I don't understand. There were a lot of
yes,
those.
Yes, you do. Say it.
That the Premier League wanted a new team to win it, and so they've been going all season.
I wouldn't go that far. What I will say is that I think PGMOL are cowards, and I think that none of them wanted to make the call that potentially prevented Arsenal from winning the title. I think that they are heartless, ballsless cowards. You cannot convince me that there is not something at play. I'm not talking conspiracy theory. I'm just simply saying human nature. It is easier to deal with the manager of Burnley for a red card that's not given to a team that's already been relegated than it is to deal with a red card that is given to a team that's battling for their first title in more than 2 decades. That is a fact. You cannot tell me that a team that plays as aggressively as Arsenal does in a day and age where red cards are given out for breathing on somebody wrong and penalties are given out for accidentally hitting the ball with your hand, even if it comes off your side, because VAR is typically just a bunch of numpties who, played maybe grassroots soccer and then went into refereeing school at 8.5 years old. Not one penalty conceded, not one red card the entirety of the season. Would Burnley have scored, Fred Rogers, the Arsenal supporter says? I don't know, but the fact remains is that they did not receive a single red card all season and did not concede a penalty all season. If you play this game 38 times over the course of a Premier League campaign at the speed and intensity at which they do, it is impossible to go with a goose egg in both of those categories without there being something else at play. That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah. Okay, so name it then.
Name what?
What is at play?
He did say.
I just said what was human nature.
He said it's just human nature.
You actually think there's a PGMOL conspiracy to give Arsenal the trophy?
No, that's not what I said. Can you listen to me instead of twatting or texting whoever the fuck that you're tweeting, right? Like, you're probably just watching the 1900th Arsenal's Our Champions video. Like, put the phone down for a second. I've been there, okay? I understand what you're doing right now. I know you're getting all sorts of endorphins from watching all these videos. It's fun. What I said is that it's easier for PGMOL to not make a call against Arsenal because they're a club that's going after a trophy than it is to have a bad call against Burnley and not have the balls to give Arsenal the call against them, because Burnley are already relegated. There's no consequences for screwing them over. There is going to be the wrath of Mikel Arteta and arguably of Stan Kroenke if you are going to fuck their chances of winning a title over. That is human nature. There's no disputing that it's easier for them to deal with Burnley than it is Arsenal in that moment.
I'm not sure how that applies to the West Ham match.
Same thing. Ish.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you got sour grapes.
I'm definitely not mad. I definitely did not watch 7 different videos of all the missed calls that Arsenal got in their favor this year.
Yeah,
I
did you
definitely
see?
didn't. I definitely didn't feel like I had an ulcer in my stomach yesterday, and I definitely didn't not watch Spurs because I was so mad that Arsenal had won the title. None of those things are true.
One thing I'll add is, for me, it was a red, the Kai Havertz challenge. And then I started thinking about the Phil Foden tackle a couple weeks back. It's a little different, but there has been lately a little inconsistency and a switch back to allowing. Like, I think back to that. There was an Eddie Nketiah red card a few years back for a knee, as Studs hit a knee or something at midfield. And I remember being like, what are we doing? And I think that they've completely swapped that. First, they haven't announced any changes. They haven't done anything, but PGMOL has stopped red carding people for that high tackle that we saw a lot before. I mean, the Foden one specifically is very similar, and he didn't get sent off. I don't know. I thought it was a red.
I don't think that that's 100% true. What I will say to the people in the chat who are saying that it only applies to the last game, fair enough in terms of that one call. But if you are to look at the other things that have gone Arsenal's way over the course of the season, like, again, I have a really difficult time agreeing with anybody who thinks that there's some large conspiracy theory that like Arsenal is getting calls. But it's also really difficult to ignore the fact that there's 0 penalties and 0 red cards throughout the course of the season. What that equates to, I don't know. Obviously, red cards plagued Arsenal last year, so it's something that Mikel Arteta and the technical staff wanted to address. Obviously, they're the best defensive team in the Premier League, and in order to be the best defensive team, you have to be disciplined inside of the penalty area, and that's what they were this season for the most part. But like I think about Martin Odegaard's handball against Liverpool earlier this year, like that is one of the most bang-on penalties I've ever seen in my life, and with VAR, they still got that wrong. And Zulamas, I'm with you, man. Like I've about had it with VAR. I think we've reached the point, and they did trial this during the U20 World Cup FIFA. I think we've reached the point, at least for me, we should go to a challenge system. Each team gets one challenge for the entirety of the game, and you get one opportunity to stop the play and challenge the referee's call. That's it. And if you win it, you don't get it back. You get one opportunity. You can save it for the 90th minute, or you can save it for something that you think is going to result in a goal or a penalty or a red card rescinded, or it could be a second yellow card that's rescinded, because how many times have we seen that? Because you can't review a second yellow card. But I think more so than anything, and putting all Arsenal biases aside, like the Denzo Maeda goal in the Celtic and Hearts game, that should have just been given as a go. Like, forget whether or not he's offside or onside, like offside or onside or whatever. I just want more natural footballing moments back. I want more jubilation. I want more anxiety. I want more just play the fucking game, and enough with stopping the game 17 times. Each team gets one opportunity to challenge the human error aspect of the game. And if you were to look back through the majority of games in the pre-VAR era, I would probably venture to say that there's anywhere between 2 to 4 human error moments throughout the course of any match. I think that that's a fair way to address it moving forward. But I'm done with it.
I'm with you. We've talked about this ad nauseum, not just us. Everybody has talked about VAR ad nauseum for, years now. I think I've been pretty consistent the whole time in saying, I understand it for objective calls like offsides. Obviously, goal line technology is a different thing, but I get it for offsides. I just don't like VAR for subjective calls. And I do like at least trialing the one challenge thing. I'm with you in the sense that VAR just saps so much just beauty and excitement, and just like, the way it used to be was when a goal was scored, the instantaneous, just sort of almost orgasmic response was just, no sport could compete with that. It was the best. That's gone. I mean, that's gone now. It really is. It was back. We felt it in, was it Scotland or FA Cup? There was some tournament or some competition that was going on where no VAR. Oh, it was in the championship. There was no VAR. And so like anything, it was just like, as soon as it happened, you knew it was a goal. Might have been a bad call, whatever. The issue is there's going to be one of these calls where it's just so bad, so egregious that everybody's going to get back on the other side and say, we need VAR again. That's why maybe one challenge makes sense. And we also have to, just as a society of soccer fans, we just have to understand that, you know what, there are going to be some missed calls here and there. Like, not everything's going to be perfect. We have to know that going in. But I'm with you. VAR is, I know it's tough to put toothpaste back in the tube, but I think this is a situation where we've given it a shot. And, you know, there's maybe a time and a place for it on offsides and stuff, but I'm with you. Get rid of it for these handballs and whatever else. Because we've been talking about the Arsenal game. Maybe even a worse call was the Manchester United goal, where Mbeumo essentially just palmed the ball and ended up scoring a goal. It's like, how was that was looked at on VAR and it ended up being, you know, the game-winning goal? How they looked at that at VAR and said, nah, that's okay. That's allowed. I cannot wrap my head around. So it's just like, if we're going to do these sort of VAR reviews, we're going to stop the game. We're going to slow sort of the roll of everything, the momentum. We're going to sort of take away that instantaneous jubilation of goals and whatever. And then you're going to come away with a decision that, like, at least 50%, probably in this case, 85% of the world would be like, that's a terrible call. Nah, I'm out. I'm out on that. So I'm 100% with you. We really got off track there, didn't we? Yeah. Anything else on VAR or Arsenal? Or should we go laugh at Tottenham for a moment?
As much as I am reaching as a reason to discredit Arsenal for winning the title, and I hope that some of you can see the bit just at least a little bit. They fucking won it. Like, what do you like? Like, does it bother me that they didn't have a single red card or penalty conceded all year? Absolutely. But like, I'm not here to like put an asterisk next to it and file an appeal with PGMOL that Arsenal like shouldn't technically have their name on the trophy. Like, that's not what I'm here to do.
I think if it came down to Sunday, I wouldn't be celebrating. I just have a bad feeling. I think back to what you said, Sam, about having not won it by not playing. I think that's probably, after all the second place finishes and all the choking and the heartbreak, that it didn't come down to having to win on Sunday is probably the most important thing for a lot of those players and fans. So, yeah, I didn't have a good feeling all the way up until basically the final whistle. There wasn't a moment, maybe ever.
Yeah, because Bournemouth went up 1-0, and then you're kind of, I do remember you saying, like, this is definitely not over. They're going to score, blah, blah, blah. And City did score. So there was what, like 2 or 3 minutes left?
And then Savinho had an acre of space down the left. And I was like, I swear to God.
They looked like they were going to get the second. They really fucking did. Really did. I would have been losing my mind if that was my team.
If they had scored a second goal with the momentum that they would be riding into Sunday and Arsenal going away to Selhurst Park, luckily we'll never have to know, but I would not have felt good about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. This is kind of a transition to Tottenham, but like, it just wouldn't have felt, honestly, it just would not have been Tottenham-like for us to go beat Chelsea and just confirm our safety, you know, before the final.
No, that was never going to happen.
Right? That just doesn't make any sense in the world. We may end up staying up.
Can I say something? You're 100% going down, because you'll be the first ever club that gets relegated while a playoff championship loser gets promoted, a semifinal loser. You're going to be the first club to ever get relegated to a playoff semifinal loser in the championship.
Now you're basically saying
that's a reach. That's a reach to like
have lost the semifinal and then get promoted over Tottenham.
The narrative of it, I get where he's coming from. I do understand that makes a lot of sense.
I think of all the things that you could like be attacking Tottenham for, that one was like so far down on the list. Like it was just such a reach. It was such a reach.
I see.
You see.
So let's go to Tottenham and West Ham. This is just a real talk about Whew.
Treble's still
Battle
on. Treble's still on for Arsenal fans. Champions
That's
League,
great.
Premier League, and Tottenham go down.
Oh, what a nightmare of a day it was on Tuesday.
And Mikey, you would trade League Cup and FA Cup to see Tottenham go down, correct?
I'd lose the Champions League final if Spurs go down.
That's not real. No, that's not real.
Honest to God, watching them have to play 44 matches to get back to the Premier League would be almost worth it.
With our fingers crossed, too.
Almost worth it.
Yes. So it'll come down to Sunday, where we have Everton at home and West Ham have, I believe, Leeds at home. Because West Ham went to Newcastle and got absolutely dog-walked in a game that Newcastle really had not that much left to play for. And they'd been on the beach, at least metaphorically or mentally, for the last however many weeks. They showed up big time against West Ham, just absolutely worked them. And then we went to Stamford Bridge, where we never win, and we didn't win. No surprise there. It did stink the way it went down. Randall Kolo Muani is like, thank God he's done in one game. I can't watch him anymore. I just can't.
You can't pronounce him anymore either.
I can't pronounce him. I can't pronounce him. Kolo Muani. Listen, my pronunciation of his name is way worse than his ability to play soccer. He is a fucking
I just thought that your pronunciation blunders only extended to players outside of your own squad. I didn't know that you couldn't pronounce guys on your own team either.
I thought you'd have gotten your own squad pretty
no.
narrow.
Listen, I'm an equal opportunity.
Your dyslexia knows no bounds.
Oh, I've been trying to tell you this and try to say this. But listen, Kolo Muani there. Hopefully that's a little better. He's a bum. He's a terrible soccer player, and I cannot wait for him to get off this fucking team. He's my new sort of like, I know Timar hates this when I go off on my rants of hating on our own team, but there's always like one player who I just can't stand, and Muani is easily far and away. He's bad. He's just not good. I don't know where goals are going to come from for this team. You know, like Richarlison runs around a lot, but doesn't do much. And it just feels like we don't have anything going forward. And
do you guys go for this game? How is this going to work? Because if
I don't know, I think that the fact that we need a draw actually works against us, because we'll kind of be
agree.
ooh, we can pussyfoot it and try and get a 0-0, and we're not going to get a 0-0. We're going to score. We make one, if not five, terrible mental blunders every single game. So there's no chance that we're keeping Everton off the scoreboard. And so if we try to like just kind of, let's try and get a 0-0 out of this, we're losing. We're 100% losing.
I agree.
So I'm of the mindset at this point that our whole season and maybe the future of the club rests on Leeds, because we need Leeds to beat West Ham. I have zero confidence that we're going to beat Everton. I do at least have some, hope that Leeds will show up, because they've been playing really well. So
I have so much more confidence in West Ham going to like go after a game and win it right now than you guys.
Well, because they have that mentality too, that like they have to win. So like they're going to come out, they're going to go for it. Yeah, I just think we stink. I want to sort of fire back at Adam when he was talking earlier about Everton winning the league before Tottenham does. I don't think that's true, but I do think that you guys will probably win this game. This team stinks. We're done. Mentally, we've been cooked forever. De Zerbi does seem like he's gotten the team turned around a little bit, but like I don't know where we're going to score any goals. I don't see any goals in this team unless Tell has another worldie, which is the only way we end up scoring these days.
All right.
Yeah.
You've gotten 7 points from your last four. Before yesterday, you'd not lost in 4. I think you're fine. I've been saying this all year.
You have, until you said we're 100% going down 5 minutes ago.
That narrative does worry me a little for you.
Okay, so it's just the narrative. All right.
Well, he created the narrative. He's just basically saying that he reverse jinxed you guys.
Yeah, the minute a team that lost the semifinal got put in the final, I thought, ooh, that's not good for Spurs.
Well, listen, I did kind of space on the Aston Villa game, which was one of our better performances of the season. Gallagher
Speaking
scored.
of Villa, they got us in the Champions League. Thank you, Unai Emery, for winning your 5th Europa League title. Big time.
His 3rd Europa League with a club that has Villa in the name.
It is.
Sevilla, Villarreal, and Aston Villa.
Somebody said that in the Discord, and shout out JP in the Discord, our resident Villa fan. Yeah, congrats to Villa. That is a crazy fun fact. And they just, Freiburg were not even in that game today. They were just the better team by far. And yeah, I didn't even think about that cements your place in the Champions League.
What does Bournemouth need?
So
Bournemouth already secured
Europa.
I think Bournemouth is in.
Bournemouth is in Europa.
They're in 6th right now.
They're in 6th and 3 points ahead of Brighton, 3 points behind Liverpool. I think that this cements them as
they need a draw. They need to win. As long as they don't lose and Brighton wins, then they're in Champions League, because Brighton can catch them on goal differential if Bournemouth were to lose and Brighton were to win.
So that extra place for the Champions League
goes to 6th.
It does go to 6th, even so. Okay, all right.
Yes,
fine.
Because Villa's spot in Champions League is via the Europa League. Yes.
Okay. All right. So Bournemouth, yes. So Bournemouth is looking pretty good for Champions League now. Wow. Brighton there's a whole logjam there for the 2 Europa and the Conference League at this point, because you got Brighton on 53, Chelsea on 52, Brentford on 52, Sunderland on 51. And is that everybody? I guess technically Newcastle and Everton and Fulham on 49 could catch them. Wow, there's a lot of permutations there. I don't think I can do the math.
It's a pretty exciting final day. Thank God there's not a title race, but the rest of it is pretty fun.
Yeah, everywhere else, title race is done. We got a relegation battle. We got pretty much all the Europa spots, or European spots, excuse me. Yeah, it'll be a fun game, fun day for some people. I would not include Spurs and West Ham fans among them. But so we play Everton at home. West Ham plays Leeds at home. In those European spots, we have Bournemouth traveling to Forest, Brighton hosting United, Chelsea going to Sunderland, who Sunderland is technically still in it, Brentford going to Liverpool. So that actually would have been kind of interesting for Mr. Tyler Terrence, who we just lost. Yeah, that would it's gonna be an interesting day. Lots going on. And if somebody put a gun to my head and asked me for predictions, I think that Tottenham stay up only because of Leeds. So come on, Leeds. Just
I'm gonna be
be great.
I'm gonna hate on Leeds all week. I'm gonna text Larry. I'm gonna light fireworks outside the Leeds hotel 3 a.m. I need West
Ham. I've already been texting with him and TJ and telling him, what do you need from me? What can I do? Who needs a hand job? What's going on here? All right. Well, let's give a quick shout outs to the FPL. Actually, we're not done yet, so it's not full season. But
lost Tommy in the cup, by the way.
Did you? You lost to Tommy
in the Sickos Cup in
Wait, in the Council of Elders Cup or the Sickos Cup?
Council of Elders. I lost to fucking Tommy.
Pretty embarrassing. Oh wow! I actually only beat Mitch by 2 points. Not that that's embarrassing, but Tommy doesn't even look at his team anymore. So it's me and Tommy in the Council of Elders Cup. Final on the Discord Sickos side, we got you're still up top by 26 points, I guess, over Matthew Perry. Dave K, who I just lost to in the Sickos Cup in the, I guess, semifinal. Shout out Dave K for spanking. Well, he didn't spank me. He beat me by 4 points. He's in third. Ice Cold Chillers, Jamie Fryer in fourth, and Caleb Whitehead in fifth. And in the cup, by the way, in the Sickos Cup, who's in the final here? Can we tell? I don't know if I can look. I won't let me look. But Dave K beat me. He's in the final. I don't know who he plays. Now, in the podcast-wide league, we still have Luke McCulloch up top. Mike Evans in second, Ryan Nowlin in third, Thomas Senef in fourth, and Jonathan Cohen in fifth. All right. We pretty much did the weekend preview to come. Should be an interesting one. Liverpool doesn't have anything to play for anymore. It would have been an interesting game there because Brentford would have been going for it for sure. Oh, but so be it. Now, let's move to halftime. So, speaking of Middlesbrough and Hull City and Southampton. So, if you, Mikey, we'll start with you. If you were an EFL judge, jury, and executioner, and Southampton hypothetically was caught dead to rights spying on Middlesbrough before their championship semifinal, and then Southampton went on to beat Middlesbrough in the said semifinal to reach the playoff final, what would your hypothetical punishment be for Southampton? Would you DQ them? Would you points deduct? Would you fine? What would you do?
I don't quite understand how you can, 4 days before a match, change the opponent. Spying is not fielding an illegal player or anything else like that. I don't find it just. I think it's insane. I find it's exciting. It's very fun. Don't get me wrong. It's quite hilarious that they're doing this. But then there's a counter sue. There's an appeals process. Hull are suing to just directly go up. They're opening the door for everything. What they should say is, like, we're gonna fine the club $5 million, and wherever you go next year, you're gonna have 3-point deduction. But you can't remove a team from the game after they've sold 36,000 seats. It's a nightmare. I find the decision baffling and honestly just box office.
It is nuts. It is absolutely nuts. And
the craziest story. It's the craziest story in a long time.
It is, and it was one of the craziest stories before the punishment came out, because the fact that Southampton did this, I've said this for years, going back to Bielsa, probably even before that. I don't think that you get that much information from spying. Sure, you get some little things here and there. But you do not get that much. It is such, and somebody said this in Discord, it is such a low reward, high risk thing that I don't know why teams do this. So I think it was one of the most boneheaded moves in soccer history, if not human history, that Middlesbrough even tried to do this. But then the fact that then EFL came back and just booted them from the playoff, it adds another layer of just
after
incredible
tickets were sold, 35,000 tickets.
It's insane. And the amount of money that is costing Southampton, obviously it could be in the hundreds of millions potentially. And so I don't understand how Bielsa, he essentially got fined, I believe. Like he got fined
$200,000.
$200,000. How do you then go from that punishment to this, which is so much bigger?
$200 million.
Plus they admitted to doing it in prior matches. Do those teams get those points? Does that change who makes what?
So, we always rag on the United States Soccer Federation at any given point. If you remember, Orlando City were caught spying on Sacramento Republic's training session before the 2022 U.S. Open Cup final.
Forgot about that.
Nothing came of it, and everybody moved on like grown-ups because of the fact of what you said, Sam. You don't gain anything from it. Maybe you're able to snuff out a set piece before they're able to try something from the training ground. Right. That's it. Nothing that you are going to be pulling from a training session is going to give you a competitive advantage. Even if you knew they're starting 11, 24 hours in advance, it wouldn't give you a competitive advantage.
No, exactly.
It is insane. The fact that we could have in the same year a federation who strips a country of a continental title and Senegal and Morocco situation, and then also have this situation where they get kicked out of a playoff for spying with binoculars, like it's Shia LaBeouf in Disturbia. Like, you gotta be shitting me with this.
It's absurd.
It is absurd is the perfect word for it. And I feel bad. I really feel bad for Middlesbrough fans, although they embrace.
You have it wrong, by the way. You keep saying Middlesbrough. It's Southampton.
Sorry. I feel for Southampton fans, although a lot of them were embracing the spying and doing the whole celebrations. That captain of the Southampton team, who got right in Aiden Morris's face
Harwood
after he scored. Not he didn't score, but after Southampton scored the late winner. Wow, don't you feel like a dickhead at this point?
He is a dickhead.
Yeah, it sounds like he did some other things during that game that would qualify him to be a dickhead regardless. So yeah. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy story. If they get expelled, it's got to be for stupidity, not for actually spying, because it's the stupidest thing you possibly could ever do. Send your fucking underling to go look at guy. Coach, I got to tell you, that looks like they got their number one goalkeeper in goal. Like, oh, okay, thanks. Thanks, buddy. Anyway,
can I give you a more controversial story while we're on this halftime? Because there is a lot.
The Lazio Falconer. Is that what you're saying?
No,
because that was
I'm going to give you a statement here. I think Hearts should be awarded the Scottish Premier League.
Oh my God, that is a crazy thing. So because they ran on the field and the game didn't.
The referee did not blow the final whistle. The match was abandoned.
I mean, if we're talking, we just had a conversation about how VAR is sort of sapping the spirit and beauty of the game.
Field and attack
the field while it's still going on. It's
the game
deplorable.
Was over. There were two goals up.
It physically was not over.
The game was not over.
It was over.
No, it fucking wasn't. The game was not done.
Listen, I'm Catholic.
It was
I'm Catholic.
All
I
it was like somebody on life
too.
support. You got to pull the cord. All they had to do was pull the cord. They were up 2 goals. And basically, the time had run out.
You're talking about precedent, right? Like the Southampton thing's a precedence thing. What we're just going to let guys fucking decide when the thing's over
we're
and run?
End games 90 seconds early. There will never be an opportunity for a team to come back from a 2-goal deficit.
Time to go kick the shit out of the opponents.
Yep. And I'm with Mikey here. I don't know if Hearts should be awarded the title. I think that may be a tad drastic, and Hearts fans probably wouldn't even want that, similar to what happened in AFCON, right? Like, you lost the fucking game. But I cannot. They should be deducted points at the start of next season.
Yeah, the rule would be that they would lose that match, which would lose them the title. So
we were just talking about how the U.S. Federation acted like adults and just did the right thing and got on with it. And I think you guys are going the extreme opposite way here, because the better team won that game and won the league.
Maybe
it's because I have a soft spot for Celtic. But I do understand the romance of a team not in Old Firm winning the Scottish Premiership. It
has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that the home team fans ran on the field while the game was still going on and ended the game.
It was a beautiful moment and the game was over.
That was not a beautiful moment. Do that once the full-time whistle blows. No, you can't score a goal with time still remaining and run onto the field. It's not how the world works.
It was a walk-off.
There have to be
TST.
No, he's trying to piss you off, Tyler. He's trying to piss you off.
I'm hungry. I'm tired. I have to call a game at 10 Eastern tonight. It's fucking working. Arsenal won a title. Everything sucks.
Fair enough. We'll move on. That was
It'll be a good shout, game at 10 at least.
Good shout, though, Mikey. Well, I'll cross off one of my GOAWs. We'll go around the world. Listen, there's a lot of shit going on this week. So, Xabi Alonso, I cannot believe this. I'm actually more surprised about this than I am Mourinho. Xabi Alonso apparently agreed to take the Chelsea gig. He's going to be the next Chelsea manager.
Are you mispronouncing Xabi Alonso's name right now? You said it twice.
Xabi
Alonso?
Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso. I don't know. I just wish I could never had to pronounce anybody's name ever. So Alonso took the job at Chelsea, and Jose Mourinho, dear leader, took, I believe it's official, I'm not sure, I guess, took the job at Real Madrid. Wow. I mean, those are 2 crazy, announcements. It just would have made so much sense, obviously, in a different world where Alonso would become Liverpool's next manager. That's obviously not happening. I don't know. Thoughts on the Mourinho situation, Mikey? I mean, how is this? Well, it's going to be content gold. Like, as somebody who's going to be watching from afar, I've said this all along. I love Jose Mourinho, just don't love him as the coach of my team. I can't see this ending well. Could you see a situation how he goes back and and really takes care of business and really turns things around there?
Yeah, he needs this. Second season Mourinho. Not this next year, but the year after, they will win La Liga, and I will be putting my life on the line.
So 3 seasons. So do you think they'll win some other trophy next season? Because they've gone 2 seasons without a trophy, which
Mourinho
at Real
wins
Madrid
things.
is
Mourinho wins
nuts.
things in that second year. He wins a lot of things.
I mean, so does Ange. Yeah, I don't know. It's Tyler, do you think that Xabi Alonso or Jose Mourinho last longer at their new?
Xabi.
Whoa. Probably Xabi. Just, I don't know.
Sad. Even as
Bully's a lunatic. This isn't.
Chelsea is not a place.
Chelsea's not a stable club. They're not Nottingham Forest, but they're not a stable club. But I'd still go with Xabi Alonso maybe by a month or 2.
Do you think they both last the season?
Next year? Yeah.
No, one of them is getting fired.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
One of them will get fired. I swear on all things holy. Book it right now. Best bets. I don't know if you can make it, but go to a bookie near you where you can find it. Either Jose Mourinho or Xabi Alonso to get fired within the calendar year, within the football year.
Nuts. Just absolutely nuts. And as ZJ says in the Discord chat, like, it's going to be cinema. Real Madrid.
One of the 2 of those will be a disaster. Like, can't you just see that happening? Like, I think there's such... I'm so curious to see Xabi Alonso's... Like, do you remember how much fun that Leverkusen team was? I mean, it was basically what Hansi Flick and Barcelona are right now. It was just relentless pressure, throwing numbers forward, beautiful football, but like at any given moment, they were capable of giving up like 3 goals in a 15-minute stretch, but they were just suffocating. And like, I know that was never going to be Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso. That just was not going to be the case. But now it's like, is that what Bluco is bringing him in to do, is to be the Leverkusen version of Xabi Alonso? Like, I don't know if that roster is capable of playing that type of football. I think that there are some pieces within that roster that are capable of doing that. But like, if Cole Palmer is going to be the Florian Wirtz, and like João Pedro is supposed to be the Victor Boniface, and Cucurella is supposed to be, the fucking
Frimpong?
left-sided version of Frimpong. Like, I don't know. Is that really what this is supposed to look like? Or is he being told that he can't do that here? And if he can't, then it's going to be a disaster, because that's the only success that he's known as a coach. I think the whole thing is fascinating. Like, I just don't see it, but
it's fascinating. And I just can't believe he took that, because he doesn't need that job. And it just seems like it's a...
What does that mean, he doesn't need that job? He's unemployed.
He could wait for a club that is not Chelsea and is not, as unstable and just a shit show as Chelsea is. I just don't think that is...
What would be a good job for him to take?
Yeah.
Liverpool.
He clearly knows that they're not getting rid of him.
Not right now, but I would not be shocked if they got rid of him in
So
October.
You would wait. There's a possibility, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen given some of my messages in the Discord, which if you're not a part of it, then you need to be a part of it. Go sign up now at Sam's Army Patreon. There's a possibility that Slot could theoretically turn this around and be the coach of Liverpool for the next 5 seasons. Not a strong possibility, but if you're Xabi Alonso just waiting for that one fucking job, give me one other club that Xabi Alonso could take the job at.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, because you just said that he doesn't want to be a part of dysfunctional shit show. What I'm saying is like, it's a Big 6 club that has a rich history, that has loads of talent and an opportunity to, at the bare minimum, qualify for Champions League next season and maybe win a trophy. They did.
If you want a real answer, by the way, where maybe Newcastle. They got money.
That's a tough job, man. They don't have money. They don't have revenue, so therefore they don't have money. They have money to spend, but they're not allowed to spend it. I think that's a limbo job. And that's why Areola is leaving. Everybody's like, oh, why would Areola leave if they're potentially going to play in Champions League?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why would he want to be a part of that if he has an opportunity to go be a part of a club that's actually going to invest year in and year out rather than sell their best players and just be a yo-yo Champions League club, which I know to a team that's going to get relegated like Spurs, a foreign concept to you because you're not going to be a yo-yo Premier League club. But
get your shots in. I can't even defend myself, honestly. It's just true. All right. We're done with that. It is just crazy, though. Just so much craziness going on right now. Extra spicy MLS minute. You got it in you?
I always got it in me. I always got 60 seconds worth of glory in me. Just ask my pregnant wife. All right. Anyway, moving along swiftly. So we're starting at Charlotte at the bank. NYCFC pulling off a 1-0 win. Dean Smith and company struggling to pick up points on a consistent basis. Then we head over to Harrison, New Jersey. By the way, we're doing 2 match days. So this is going to be about a 90-second bust from your boy. Rebels 3, Columbus 2. In our nation's capital, DC United 1, Chicago 3. New England Revolution lose at home. First loss at Gillette Stadium all season. Orlando City pick up a rare win, 4-3 over the Philadelphia Union. We'll be talking about them in the second match day as well in this spicy 90 seconds. Cincinnati 3, Inter Miami 5 in a goal-scoring bonanza. Messi with 4 goal contributions, including a hat-trick. Montreal 2, Portland 2. Montreal continues to rattle off some points. Hand up apology, but I'm not going to apologize when they rattle off 7 straight losses after the World Cup break. FC Dallas 2, Vancouver 3. Whitecaps continue to roll. Minnesota at home, losing 1-0 to the Colorado Rapids. Big clean sheet for Matt Wells and company. That's just one win in the last several games, though, for Colorado. We'll get to them in a second as well. St. Louis City 2, LAFC 1. More trouble for Mark Dos Santos and company, and not all is rosy in the City of Angels. Sporting Kansas City beating LA Galaxy by a score of 3-1. By the way, Sporting Kansas City, they don't really do that all that often this year, which is actually win soccer games. Seattle 3, San Jose 2, as Earthquakes are dealing with some injury problems at the moment. Seattle, as usual, Brian Spencer and company, top 4 side of the Western Conference. RSL 3, Houston Dynamo 0, as the kids just continue to enjoy life under Pablo Mastroeni. And then San Diego puts an absolute beating on Austin FC. We'll get to the coaching situation with Austin in just a brief moment. Montreal 0, Chicago 2. I told you that Montreal was going to start to lose some games. Hudson River Derby, they split the spoils 1 apiece. Orlando City 1, Atlanta United 1 in the Southern Derby. Charlotte FC get on the board with a win over Toronto, which is not all that impressive considering Toronto FC is basically a hospital ward at this point in time. New England bounced back with a 2-1 win over Minnesota United. And then DC United and St. Louis battle to a 1-1 draw in some of the MLS's worst soccer that it has to offer this year. Philadelphia 1, Columbus 1, and that would do it for Hendrik Rydstrom, as he's a coach that gets fired right before the World Cup break. Speaking of coaches getting fired as well as sporting directors, out goes Nico Estevez, out goes the sporting director Rodolfo Burrell, as Sporting Kansas City win not 1 but 2 games in a row, and they beat Austin FC, which is good enough for the Austin ownership group led by Anthony Precourt to say that's not good enough. Lo and behold, Rodolfo Burrell, the sporting director, only got 1 head coach during his tenure as the sporting director, since he did not hire Josh Wolf. Houston Dynamo 1, Vancouver 0, thanks to a red card from Vancouver. Houston somehow rattling off that win, but they would later lose in the U.S. Open Cup to St. Louis City in a penalty kick shootout. And then the Galaxy bounced back and beat the Seattle Sounders by a score of 2-0. RSL 2-1 over the Colorado Rapids after going down at home, turning it around and scoring 2 unanswered goals. Xavier Gozo, should he be going to Mauricio Pochettino and the U.S. men's national team this World Cup? Who knows? I'm not here to answer that question. I'm just doing a spicy 90 seconds. San Diego 3, Cincinnati 3, one of the craziest finishes you are going to see all season. We thought that Cincinnati had just given up the game-winning goal to Marcus Ingvartsen, but then from the kickoff at the last kick of the game, Ayub Jabari falling away, cushions it down for who else? Tom Barlow. Yes, you guessed it. Tom Barlow with a brace off the bench. 3-3 is the final score with the final kick of the game. And then San Jose 2, Dallas 3. That's the Sam Sarver game, ladies and gentlemen, where he ended up dumping an entire beer on his face. 3 out of 10 as far as the chugging is concerned. He didn't even drink most of it. Most of it just ended up in his eyeballs. And then Inter Miami 2, Portland 0 in Phil Neville's return to Miami. And finally, Messi and company able to get a win, but there's a lot of drama going on with the players and the fans, and guess which players are in the middle of that drama? I'll give you 3 guesses. And then Nashville 3, LAFC 2, as LAFC just continue to struggle, and that would do it for match day whatever.
Whatever is good. Yeah, we're about to go on this long break, and it's going to be interesting when they pick back up. But by the way, Casemiro, did you see the bogey bomb?
Yep.
Casemiro might end up at Inter Miami. Of course he would. That would just make so much sense. Well done. Thank you for your 90 seconds of glory there. We will head to stoppage time, where we got a new hat.
You ordered the Peppa Pig Spurs collab.
I did. And by the way, it's one size fits all. And apparently it's one size fits all children, because I have to pull this thing on like so hard just to get it on a little bit of my head, which is too bad.
Gotta find a way to make money in these lean years coming up.
It is. It's very, yeah, listen, they knew what's coming.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Snazzy hat, I must say. But yes, the Peppa the Pig hat.
It's not Peppa the Pig.
Peppa Pig?
Peppa Pig. Yeah.
Peppa Pig collab
Peppa
with
the Pig.
Tottenham Hotspur. I got the hat, so this, that we're about to make some monies here on the overtrain. So last week, unfortunately, we only went 2 for 5, so we're down a couple shekels. But we're going to come back. We're going to bounce back strong this week with overtrain. 5-a-side. We're actually going Thursday through Monday this week because my Wednesday pick might not get out there in time, but it was going to actually be Tyler's game, the Colorado versus San Jose U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal.
Let me just give a little tip to the folks out there who are watching this live right now. Rafa Navajo, anytime goal or assist. I don't know if the odds on that are going to be great, but I just take it to the bank. I promise you.
Yeah, I love that.
There you go. Mikey's already putting it in. So 5-a-side, Thursday through Monday. These are all going over 3.5, by the way. So Thursday, and there's going to be a lot of playoff games, at least at the beginning of the week. Thursday, we're going to the Bundesliga playoff between Wolfsburg and Paderborn. Friday, we're going to the 2 Bundesliga playoff between RW Essen and Greuther Fürth. Saturday, we're going to La Liga, where Valencia is hosting Barcelona. Shout out a little extra bonus points for the pronunciation there. Sunday, we're going to Liverpool hosting Brentford in the EPL. Yes, that's going to be a goal fest. And finally, Monday, Haugesund hosting Moss in the Norwegian 2nd Division. And it's Peppa the Pig / Tottenham collaboration hat day or week, so you know we're about to get real rich. Now, Mikey, what do you got for us on Overtrain? Oh, well, no, Ivan Toney's best bets.
Your bets just always piss me off to no end.
This hat is so tight; it's like squeezing my brain. I can't even do that.
Listen, tomorrow's the final match day for the Saudi League, so I'm gonna have to give you something for that. It's been my favorite league to bet all year. Let's go. Give me 1 second here.
Z-Gen, forgive me if adding Spurs to Peppa the Pig doesn't inspire confidence for the overtrain. Get on board, Z-Gen. We're getting rich.
Julian Quinones for Alcarizaya. Plus 120 to score. He scores a brace every other week, so I'm going to take that. And I'm going to put it with Saeed Benrahma shots on target because they have that price wrong. So actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go with the Benrahma shots ladder. So Benrahma shots on target 2 is plus 125, 3 plus 450, and I'm going to play 4 plus 1400. I'm going to put a half unit on each of them. Fuck it. It's the last match week of the year.
Half on each, all 3?
Unit on it. I'm going to put a full unit on all 3 weeks in our game because I'm up by so many units. Benrahma is priced wrong. He's playing striker. Luciano Rodriguez is back in the wing. And they're pricing him like a midfielder. And he's shot happy. And he has 3 in his last 2 matches. So I'm hammering Benrahma shots on target. And Sam, that is a children's hat.
I know. But this is the only size they had. And I said I was going to get it, so I got it. So
that's a hat for kids.
Well, and over bettors. All right, Tyler, what do you got? Ivan Toney's best bet.
Everton money line, Leeds money line, plus 578.
That makes a lot of sense.
West Ham money line. West Ham money line. What am I? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a totally different fucking story. What are you talking about? Oh my God, what a move there.
Butchered the delivery. Can we cut that out? I want to do this again.
No.
Everton money line, West Ham money line.
No. I loved your bet. Now I hate your bet. It's a terrible bet. Nobody bet that.
Whoop. Everybody get on the relegation train. Whoop, whoop.
Oh God.
I love it.
That
plus 578. I'm tame in my soon to be fatherhood days.
That's right. You are getting tame. All right. I hate that bet, but we'll allow it. We'll go to GOAWs, everybody's favorite segment, especially Mikey. Mikey, you want to start us off?
Yeah, it was going to be Mourinho, but we've talked a little bit about him. I think I'm just so happy for him. It was also going to be Florentino Perez. I haven't been on the pod since he gave that press conference where he was like, "You suck. I'm great. Fuck you. I rock." And just was like, I can't stand any of you. He ended the press conference signing off saying, I had a terrible time. I hope to never see you all again. So I love him. What I will give my GOA to this week is Panini. They do the official cards for the World Cup, where they don't wait for the lineups to come out. So they package these World Cup cards a week or 2 before the lineups come out, and they try to sell them. They got 70% of the players right. So guys that won't be at the World Cup were in there. And they got caught photoshopping Vinicius's face onto Igor Jesus's hairline. So Just a fucking debacle. If you're one of those card collectors, listen, I'm aware that people who join a Patreon and a Discord for Sam's Army are probably into that stuff. So I'll say this quietly, and I hope, and if you are into cards, don't listen to the next 10 seconds. But I think it's fucking weird, and grow up. And I think Panini sucks, and I think that what they're doing is criminal. So I'm going to give them the go this week for fucking up the rosters and for photoshopping players onto other players' heads. You fucking idiots.
I sort of understand the fucking up the rosters thing. I think, the manufacturing
Why not
times. Well, they want to get it out there as soon as the rosters are out and people are sort of excited about it. I understand their thought process on that. The photoshopping is bananas. But by the way, I believe I just saw an announcement that Panini lost the rights going forward. I think Topps or somebody beat them out. So the Panini cards might be going away soon. All right. Good shout, though. Tyler, what do you got?
I've got Carlo Ancelotti because instead of trying to, be competitive at this World Cup, he elected to go with vibes and to make a lot of Brazilians happy by selecting Neymar and not João Pedro to go to the World Cup. So good for him because, clearly winning is not at the top of his list of things to do, which Brazil was never going to do a lot of it anyway this summer, but he just ensured that they're going to do just that much less of it. So congratulations.
That is a wild move. No João Pedro, no Richarlison. I mean, obviously Richarlison at this point. If you guys
do not put them in the same breath,
I know, but he has been in the Brazil sort of setup for.
What do you think's better, the championship or Brasilia Serie A as far as the league? I'll let you marinate on that. Anyway, you can continue. It was just food for thought.
Oh, I thought you had an answer for us.
No,
that was an actual discussion topic. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to give my honorable mention. Actually, I should probably give my actual go to Sam Sarver, but you sort of stole my thunder there with the MLS Spicy Minute. He scored the stoppage time winner against, who was it? Was it San Diego?
San Jose.
San Jose. Stoppage time winner, and then did this 2-part celebration that you sort of mentioned. He did a scuba dive thing where like
in front of the ultras, in front of the main supporter section at San Jose Stadium, PayPal Park. Continue.
Which is why he then got some Modelo's thrown his way, and he picked one up and just absolutely downed it.
That was a full beer. They must be living nice out there. They must be living nice out there in Silicon Valley, man. That's like a $27 beer in that part of the country, and you're just hucking a full one at Sam Sarver for scoring a goal in a game that nobody's going to remember in November.
It was enough. He drank enough beer to feel a buzz.
Enough went in his eyeballs, as Tyler was saying. Like it was all over his face.
That's the equivalent to butt. That's the equivalent to like butt chugging as far as like direct alcohol into the bloodstream.
Right. Yeah, I had a friend in college who used to take eye shots
right to his brainstem. I'm usually somebody who hates the multi-part celebrations. It's become a thing where people start hitting these multi-celebrations. The impromptu beer chug, though, I'm 100% on board with it. Shout out Sam Sarver. I thought that celebration was amazing. I'm going to give another honorable mention to the fourth official in the Neymar's Santos game, where he basically
see the conspiracy on this?
No, what? Well, I haven't heard the conspiracy. Is it about the Brazil team?
They wanted Arsenal to win the title?
No. PGMOL, yeah. No. So you can tell the story first, and then I'll tell you what they said.
Well, he had been substituted, right? And then let's see.
No, his name was not on the substitution card, but they put up his number and he came off the field. And then Neymar was like, what the fuck? Why am I being substituted off? And then he looked at the card, which did not have his name on it. And the fourth official screwed him over. Enter Mikey with the conspiracy theory.
I think that he was not fully fit and they wanted to take him off. And he didn't want Ancelotti or anybody in the Brazil camp to think he wasn't fit. So they did this whole thing to make it look like he was unjustly substituted, where the guy probably wrote down something but goes to the referee and goes, we're actually taking Neymar off. And then Neymar's like, I'm going to throw a huge thing so that everyone thinks I'm totally fit and not not like being wrongly
So
substituted.
who are
That
they
way,
trying to So who are they trying to trick in all of this? Is my question.
Ancelotti in the Brazil camp, they don't want any doubt about whether he's fit or not when selecting him.
Ancelotti does have two eyes,
theory.
does he not? I don't understand. He doesn't need a substitution to tell him whether or not Neymar's fit. He can just watch the game.
I think he probably had a little injury, and the last thing that Neymar wanted was for there to be a little injury that caused him to come off in the final match.
That is a long and lot of prep work for just a little payoff. But I do love that theory, so I'm backing it.
Adam,
this
is where we draw the line.
I've been backing Mikey for a while, but it's too far. My actual goal, I'm going to give it to CBS Paramount because they advertised. So this game that we talked about, Celtic and Hearts, was, the biggest game in, Scottish history for years. And they advertised that this game was going to be shown on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports. And then it turns out, we just made a mistake. It's not actually going to be on Paramount Plus. So all of us streaming people thought we were going to be able to watch it on Paramount Plus. We turned on Paramount Plus. They actually put the game on Paramount Plus for like 10 minutes and then took it off. It makes absolutely no sense. Just I don't understand the decision making there. Just a terrible promotional job and whatever. But I do appreciate that they show Scottish games. Keep doing that. Just kind of let's get your shit together on what we're actually advertising and showing. All right, boys and girls, Tyler, Mike, you guys are the best. Everybody in the Discord chat, we love you dearly. If you're not in the Discord chat, honestly, get in there now. The chat is going constantly. It's the best thing about the Patreon. Although we do have the Open Mikey nights, not the name, which we'll hopefully get back to soon enough. So get in the Sam's Army Patreon. See you guys next week. Bigger, better, maybe faster, stronger. And anybody at TST, I will see you there. Mitch and I will be there. See ya there. Meant to say that.